Hi Angel, welcome back to my channel. I am on vacation and I wanted to share this energy, this space with you. I was actually planning to go live for this video because I wanted to do a live inner work training, but I'm having some complications with my computer, so we're just gonna have to film a normal YouTube video for you today. We are gonna be talking about money. Money, inner work that has changed my life and will definitely change yours. This is a beginner inner work training, and abundance has become one of my most favorite subjects to create content on because it is something that I used to struggle with, and taking the box off of your head, breaking that glass ceiling is what really gives me life. If you see me looking down, that is because I've got notes. Inner work is the process of removing the subconscious blocks that has created that box over your head in the first place. There are two sides to everything, the art and the science. But in this video, we're going over the art of money, the energetics of abundance, because it is your state of being that leads for you, your frequency attracts for you. So this inner work training is going to be a fine tuning to get your frequency in the right state. This training will be very beneficial for you if you have a journal, so you can ponder these questions. You can write or answer these inner work training questions I'm going to give you in the comments below. But it's really something to reflect on to really get the benefits of this video. So let's get started. The number one thing I want you to understand, we're playing a game against two things here, your brain and your nervous system, because it is only these two things that create the blocks in your frequency, starting out with the nervous system. Anytime that you want to create a new belief, new thought patterns, introduce new emotions to your body, it starts with the nervous system. You have to show your nervous system it is safe with you, and part of that process is combining new thoughts, but showing your nervous system new experiences. You have to introduce the new reality to it. Your inner child is the one carrying the subconscious wounds, the blocks, and these blocks stem from our upbringing, things that we inherited from our parents, beliefs that were created through life experiences. And anytime you are going throughout your life now as an adult or an adolescent, your inner child is quite literally within you, observing everything happening in your life and is looking at you saying, what is going on? Is this safe? Do we like this? This entire process of creating new beliefs, a new life, a new frequency, your new reality, you have to show your inner child, aka your nervous system, this new reality is safe. So I want to start out by identifying, how does money make you feel? How does abundance make you feel? Does money make you feel delicious? Money makes me smirk. Does money make you feel good? Do you feel heavy? Notice what thoughts and emotions come up as you answer this question within yourself. And what I really want you to identify, is there a light or a heavy energy? The biggest key here when it comes to shifting your nervous system, everything around you draws the limit on how much you get to receive. Your environment, your house, the energy of your house, the items you hold affects your nervous system. And whatever it is you are perceiving in your environment, your nervous system will reflect how you are feeling through emotions, how it is feeling through emotions. But I have already taught you that money is energy, and your environment carries energy. The people in your life all radiate their own frequency, just like the objects in this room, this bed behind me. And in this process of showing your nervous system a new reality, you must welcome the energy of money. And what this looks like is getting rid of any possessions that you have that hold negative or low vibrational emotion. That includes gifts from your ex. If you are possessing anything that holds lack emotion, anything that makes you think, oh, I miss him, or anything in your house that carries bad memories old memories, stagnant energy. You want to clear it out. So your first homework assignment is to do a spring cleaning. Everything that has to do with your old identity, everything that goes against the new frequency, everything that no longer aligns with your desired reality, get rid of it. Expired makeup, clothes that no longer fit, old shoes. This includes house decor, get rid of it and make room to welcome in the new energy. Anytime I do a spring cleaning, I also end up moving my house around. I love moving my furniture anytime I feel that my energy just needs a shift, you know? Your environment plays a big portion in your workflow and your creativity, and holding the space for yourself to be able to shift your environment around welcomes new energy, new thoughts, new creative insight to whatever is going on in your life, and you'd honestly be surprised. This is just one small way to create a new reality for your nervous system. I recently just cleared out my entire wardrobe. I got rid of a lot of old clothes I don't even wear, things I've had for years, because I felt an energy shift within me. And this was about over a month ago when I released all of this, and new energy started coming in, new possessions. So you have to prepare for the abundance you seek by showing this energy, because money is energy, that you're ready for it. Even when you know you don't have like the money for it yet, or you don't know how things are going to align for what you want to come, showing the universe, showing your inner child it's safe with you, and getting rid of all of the old. The more you do that through inner work, your inner child and your frequency shifts. This is when the glass ceiling breaks and the subconscious wounds get released, and you're more in a flow state to receive. So that's the first thing I want you to do, is clear out the old and welcome in the new. The second statement, this isn't necessarily a tip, but it is a triggering statement. And remember, I want you to be triggered. Truly, I want to trigger you because I want to stretch that rubber band. That is how the glass ceiling breaks. Nothing is expensive. Everything is neutral. It's your employee mindset that thinks things are expensive, because we were born into this system that taught us hourly rates. We have to trade our hard labor, our muscles and physical body to make money. We have to show up in a room for 8 hours a day. The employee mindset associates time as the measurement of money. And when you are heavily and unconsciously embodied in that system of the employee mindset, of a poor mindset, it's these people that get triggered by statements like this. And trust me, I used to be one. And what has drastically changed my income is placing my value in my time and my energy, not in money. I value my time and energy more than I do money, because money is an energy. You are paying for things to receive its energy. If I hold this money here for you, this is what, $5, $6? If I was to remove the bills, and what is left here? Energy. This is just the form that humans created for the energy. When I was in my broke mindset, when I was living in scarcity, in survival mode, which was literally a year and a half ago, and I was buying things with the poor mindset of, I have to buy this because this is all I can afford, and it was the cheapest thing for me to still be able to have a little bit of money to hold on to it, because I used to associate having money and holding as much money as I can with self-worth, not realizing that the things that I used my money for to purchase was an energy exchange. I was contributing to that poor energy, the poor mindset. I'll tell you guys a crazy manifestation story. While I was in that time, I got to a point where I was like, okay, I want to manifest some money. I just want to manifest like $1,000 or something. I don't know. I want to, because I can. And in that process of, doing things like listening to subliminals, clearing out old stagnant energy, cleaning out things in my house, etc. I remember I was watching some YouTube video of a girl talking about how she was healing her relationship with money, and that's when it stunned me. I came to this realization that any time that I would check my bank account, I would feel scarcity. And I noticed that I would do this routine of checking my bank account with this negative emotion anytime that people or friends would ask me, hey, do you want to go out? Let's go out to this restaurant. Let's do this. Let's do that. And my answer would depend on that moment when I decide to pull out my phone and look at my bank account. And I would always feel such fear, such low vibrational emotion in those moments. And that's when I realized that I would do this unconscious behavior, it clicked. This emotion and connected with this behavior I was doing was unconscious, and I had to get rid of this poor behavior because it was contributing to the frequency I was carrying that allowed me to only receive what I felt I was worth, the energetic cap limit, the box over my head. And the moment that I realized I need to stop acting broke, the next day I manifested $1,000. It was a random bank deposit. And I'm sharing this story not because I want you to think like manifesting is like woo woo or like witchcraft or anything like that. I noticed that when you decide you are worthy, you start thinking outside of the box and doing the inner work and realizing the box I'm living in is what's creating this reality I don't like. All I need to do is take the box off my head. That's when everything shifts. It's like God is waiting for you to come to that realization. God is waiting for you to decide you are much more than this. You are worthy of what you desire. And the minute you show God, slowly lift the box off of your head and show your inner child that you're ready for this, the box just flies off. Everything shifts. So coming back to money being an energy and how I used to buy things that kept my energy low, my vibration low. Just to give you an example of maybe something that I do now. I drive a brand new car. I lease vehicles, and I do this for the energy exchange. I do not like owning vehicles that I have to take care of. If, the car breaks down and I need a new engine or the transmission blows out, I'm just a girl. I don't want to deal with that. I don't know anything about that. I pay to drive a brand new car every 3 years, depending on what the contract is, the timeline of the contract. So I simply use my money to invest in my state of being. Me paying to lease this car for peace of mind is what allows me to hold space, to welcome in more money, to embody that energy, that frequency. I pay for that energetic exchange. And that is how I go about life now. I pay for the frequency of what I desire. Let's get back on track. Here I have written down, value your time over money because it is your time that can be invested into things that will attract money. Okay, inner work prompt number 3. Where are you pouring your creative, your life force energy into? Where is your creative energy going into? And this is a very deep one because as a creative, I've noticed that we only chase things like people when we are not fulfilling our own creative energy. And I noticed that when our life force energy is dulled down, which is because of subconscious blocks, or is completely turned off, that is when we are heavily invested into things like caffeine. We are addicted to unconscious behaviors like scrolling or gossiping and keeping in tuned with, just the life of other people rather than using that high frequency you have and investing it into things for your own life. And I'm saying this because I used to be this way back in that old frequency. So I want you to reflect on, where are you pouring your creative energy into unconsciously, because that energy has the fuel to create your dream life. When you do things like inner work, you watch my content and you leave feeling high vibe, you feel so good. What are you doing with that energy? Ladies watching this, you have to be careful when you're, especially if you're in this state of being, of chasing a man or chasing people. Men can harvest your life force energy. The more inner work and the healing you do, the more educated you become more spiritually enlightened and more connected to your feminine energy. Your life force energy, your aura just flips. You become a magnet to all things. And you have to be careful when you're in that state of high frequency, because there are people that will come around to harvest it. And one way to notice if your partner harvests your energy, or fellas, if you're watching this, when you're in that high vibe state, what are you doing with that energy? Are you taking that energy and going to play games with it? Are you just scrolling with it? So when you use money and invest into things for the energy exchange and it raises your vibration, whether that be a new wardrobe or you buy something that just makes you feel good, it could be like vitamins or sea moss, something that is internally going to shift your frequency. This is when your life force energy turns on. And how does it feel when it's on? You feel joy, you feel bliss, you feel so good, so passionate, you feel creative, you feel inspired. Be mindful of the ways that you use this energy. If you take that energy and waste it, you go unconscious. Your old frequency creeps in and uses that energy to pull you back to the old identity. If you take that energy, pour it into other people, they will keep coming back to you for that same energy, leaving you drained. So I want you to start becoming aware of how you invest your energy, because it's always an exchange. Think about, where in my life right now am I pouring my creative life force energy into that may be unconsciously working against me? Too much pleasure is not good, not only for you, but money doesn't like that. Money likes structure, does not hold scarcity behind how they use it, does not hold the subconscious wounds that puts a cap limit on money, because money is everywhere. Money is constantly flowing and it is like a current. That's why we call it a currency. Money thrives in discipline, in structure, and holding the space to have systems put in place, showing your nervous system a new reality and showing your inner child that it's safe with you, letting go of the old identity. You have to do new things to allow money to swim to you, and it includes adopting new behaviors, new habits. So this entire game is a process of you seducing your brain and your nervous system to show it a new reality until it says, okay, we're safe with you, we trust you. Tip number 4, which does go with becoming aware of where you're pouring your energy into, is identifying broke and poor behavior and to cut them out completely. Broke behavior is temporary. Saying that you're broke is a temporary energy, and there's a difference between being broke and poor. Poor is a mindset. Poor is an identity. So broke behavior includes things like the hustle mentality, delaying purchases, blowing paychecks, not having any kind of structure, and you know you're gonna get paid in 2 weeks, so you just blow through it. That's broke behavior. Poor behavior is things like choosing the cheapest option. There's more emotion attached. Poor behavior is survival mode. It's a full embodied identity. This looks like fear-based hoarding. This looks like fear of wasting money. Even things like forcing yourself to finish your food. I remember growing up, my family would make comments saying things like, you know, turn that light off. What do you think, I own PG&E? Another example is making statements like, I can't afford it, instead of, how can I afford this? The very last tip, and one of the biggest ones that it was something that I used to struggle with, is celebrate money. Celebrate when money comes in and celebrate when money goes out. And years ago, when I ran my first business, I was heavily embodied in hustle culture. And because of this, I struggled to celebrate not just money, all success. Let's say I had a video get 1 million views, or let's say when I hit my first, I don't know, 10K month, I was just on to the next. Hustle culture is heavily embodied in this part of the world, and in turn, it's turning our life force energy off because we are suppressing our emotions and they're getting trapped in our bodies. Unprocessed emotions, unexpressed emotions can actually turn into grief. It can create tension in your body. So if you are someone that has had a hard time celebrating success, in this new opportunity I've manifested, this is why. Because we've been programmed to suppress emotions. Why this is important is because this behavior makes up your frequency. And number 2, money doesn't like trapped energy. Trapped emotion, and in combination with subconscious wounds, pushes money away, pushes abundance away. Because your aligned action, things like spending money, or let's say you're trying to earn money and you start a side hustle or you start a business, the subconscious wounds creates the wrong energy, the wrong fuel behind the aligned action. It corrupts your frequency, and in turn, you're only going to attract and manifest things that reflect your frequency. So I want you to start flipping your mindset. When you have to do things like pay rent, we all do. Instead of fussing about it, instead of being angry about paying your PG&E bill, flip the script, change the story. You are paying rent for this beautiful house that creates memories, that allows you to fulfill your passions, that allows you to live safely. You're paying the PG&E bill that allows you to create foods to nourish your body. If you want money to flow to you, then you create that flow state for it. I want you to ponder these prompts and reflect on the questions we went over in the beginning to be able to identify behaviors that you may unconsciously be doing that is working against your frequency, working against the energetics of money. Subconscious wounds always creates the filter you see life through, which will block the opportunities that could be presented to you if your life force energy was turned on enough for you to see creativity, creative doors that were built and already existing there, but the lens you have blocks you from seeing it. This is truly what I love to do. I love inner work because it is inner work that creates the frequency that you desire. That desired reality happens when you release the subconscious wounds. So I hope you found value in this video. I hope you are having an amazing weekend. I will see you in the next one.